This episode is dedicated to all first responders to thank them for their service and tireless efforts to keep people safe. Thanks, guys. Hello and welcome back to Film Pro Productivity and Success, the podcast that helps film professionals and other creative people to live a more focused, effective and happy life. My name is Carter Ferguson and this is episode 108. Own your success with this simple acronym. It is our attitude at the beginning of a difficult task which, more than anything else, will affect its successful outcome. William James, unquote. In last week's show, I revisited the videos of viral YouTube sensation Abo Demi Demi and explored 3 more of his motivational messages. And this was a follow-up to the very successful 5 motivational messages show that I did on him in episode 96. So go back and have a listen if you haven't already, as Demi Demi's messages are great fun, they're straight to the point, and will shine a light on a few productivity and life lessons that you may yourself find enlightening. Today, though, I want to introduce you to a short acronym. OWN. That's O-W-N, or Oscar Whiskey November, if you are struggling with my accent. And this stands for O, what outcome do I want? W, why do I want this? And N, what can I do right now to achieve that outcome? And I'll say that again. O, what outcome do I want? W, why do I want this? And N, what can I do right now to achieve that outcome? And to be perfectly honest here, completely honest, I've got no idea where I first picked this up. I have no idea where it came from, but I have used it repeatedly to get stuff done over the years, and I found that although it's very simple, it does actually work. So I thought I'd bring it to you here today, and you could possibly try it out yourself. So, what have we got here? We've got question 1, and you'd think that question 1, what is my outcome, would be the obvious first question in any endeavour, but in reality, many people barely consider this before storming into a task and moving towards a goal. And one of the reasons I believe so strongly in the My Best Year Yet strategy, which I've covered in several, 2, in fact, maybe 3, I think 2 New Year episodes, and in the 12-week year action plan episode as well, which was also a New Year show. And the reason I like these things is that they force you to really think about what you actually want to get before you start making plans to achieve it. And that's exactly what this question is covering on a smaller scale. Minimalist.com, I did find some information on this, although they were kind of talking about something slightly different, but it was close enough. But Minimalist.com suggests that another way to look at this question is to ask yourself, what do I want to happen? Do I want to lose weight? Do I want to stop fighting with my significant other? Do I want to make $1 billion? Unquote. And simply put, I suppose, before you can move forward with something, you must have a vision of what you want, because without a vision, you're going to fail in what you're trying to do. So next time you have a task in front of you, ask yourself, what outcome do I want here, and see if you can answer it. But that's question 1. Question 2 is, why do I want this? And this, I think, is the most important of the 3 questions. New York Times best-selling author and leadership expert Michael Hyatt said famously that when you know your why, you'll know your way. And your purpose gives you leverage. It gives you the leverage you need to keep going, really, especially when you reach a roadblock. And without any leverage, without your why, it's easy to get excited about a new idea but quickly fall flat in your face because you no longer know why you wanted your outcome in the first place, and quickly you begin to lose interest. Let's just take that example that they gave earlier. You want to make $1 billion. Okay, that's fine, but why? Why do you want to make $1 billion? Is it because it's going to make you feel secure? You might say that. Okay, but can't you feel secure without earning $1 billion? Well, I reckon you can. So your real outcome in that case isn't to earn a bunch of money. Your outcome is to feel more secure. And there's nothing wrong with earning money, but you needn't take in an exorbitant kind of massive sum like $1 billion to make you feel secure. And therefore, you may have to alter your outcome once you get your why. Simon Sinek, who wrote the most famous book about this subject called Find Your Why. I think he wrote 2 books about it, in fact. I've got them probably somewhere at hand, but I can't remember exactly. But Find Your Why, he says, focus on long-term success, but be willing to make short-term adjustments to get there. That's the kind of point I'm making. And when you have the answer to the question, why do I want this? You must be willing to change your outcome so that you have a good enough reason to see it through. And it's very hard for the human brain, I think, to process this question and put your feelings into words, so you might struggle with this one. Alternatively, you could ask what specifically it is about this outcome that makes you need to achieve it. And that question might help you to reach an answer to the why question. And what you might discover is that the reason why you want something is entirely emotional. But when you find that why, it will give you the fuel to help you move forward and achieve that objective, that outcome that you're looking for. I'm trying. This is a really difficult one to get your head around, and it doesn't take 1 minute for you to come up with it. It didn't take me 1 minute, so I'm maybe over-laboring this a little bit, but it's an important one. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe. Simon Sinek, unquote. Question 3 is, what can I do right now to achieve that outcome? And once you know your outcome and why you want to achieve it, you must then take action. At first, it's important to take not just a little bit of action, but to take massive action, and that will give you an initial momentum, and it'll help you to move forward to achieving that outcome, that goal. Then you must be willing to take kind of ongoing, consistent actions every day until you reach your desired outcome. There's no avoiding this step. We just have to take action. It's a simple, basic part of productivity, but it's one that many, many people fall down on through hesitation or procrastination, whatever you want to call it. But another way to frame that question 3, is just to ask yourself, what is my strategy? And once you have a strategy, then you can use that as an action plan to move towards whatever the outcome is that you're trying to get here. And as I say, I cover this stuff in the last New Year's show about the 12-week year and in the previous one on your best year yet, because making plans is just part of it. Actioning them is a different thing entirely. And really, the 12-week year is a fantastic strategy for making that happen. By the way, as an aside, I do offer advice on that. It's not the cheapest thing that I offer. It's not on my website. I've never monetized my productivity skills before, but I've helped a few people out by guiding them through the process of the My Best Year Yet strategy and then actioning it with a 12-week year thing. I should really put something on the website about that. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling, but that is the OWN acronym, OWN. Just to repeat what it is for you, what outcome do I want? Why do I want this? And what can I do right now to achieve that outcome? It can work for really small tasks that you're working on, and it can work for longer ones as well. So your call to action today is to take an outcome that you want to achieve and simply ask yourself that question 2 on it. Why is it that you want to achieve it? Don't give up on that question, by the way, because it's much, much more difficult to answer than you think. Drill down on it, revisit it again after a break and come to a conclusion on it. And remember that when you know your why, you'll know your way. I hope this little acronym episode will help you in future, and I thank you once again for joining me here. I mean to thank people more often on the show. I really, really appreciate you tuning in and listening and spreading the word for me as well. I can see in social media a lot of people talk about the show, and I'm eternally grateful for it. And if you'd like to listen to more episodes, of course, you can subscribe to the show on any podcast app. Next week's show is going to look into the Dunning-Kruger effect, so if that's of interest to you, oh, what's that? The Dunning-Kruger effect. Sounds interesting. It's productivity related. If you're interested in that, please join me then. But today's final end quote is again from Simon Sinek, who said, Achievement happens when we pursue and attain what we want. Success comes when we are in clear pursuit of why we want it. Now take control of your own destiny, keep on shooting, and join me next time on Film Pro Productivity and Success. The executive producer on this season is David Richard Thompson, and the music that you're listening to right now is Adventures by Ihimitsu. You can follow the show on Twitter at FilmProProdPod or on Facebook at FilmPro Productivity. And there's a full transcript of this episode on the official website, FilmPro Productivity, if you need to look something up. Please, folks, continue to support the show by subscribing, spreading the word, and leaving an awesome review.